You are about to listen to Foraging for Beginners, written by Craig Jones, produced by TekTime, narrated by Ian A. Miller. Introduction. Imagine yourself on an island far away from the comfort of your home and far removed from civilization. Imagine that you are there with your friends or your family, and you're running out of food with no option to restock. What would you do? When survival becomes the most critical thing in your life, you will wish you had some foraging skills beforehand rather than having to the dangerous approach of trial by error. Foraging for Survival is a beginner's guide for anyone who wants to learn how to forage but does not know how. It is a very important guide to have on your side when you are foraging for survival as a result of being exposed to danger in the wild, or you are just foraging for fun. One thing every aspiring forager has to know is that not all plants, animals, or mushrooms are safe to eat, no matter how inviting they may look or how pleasing they are to the eyes. Some of these plants have been known to cause harm after a long time, while some do not waste time at all in creating their negative effects. You also have to be aware of possible allergies that you may have if you eat certain kinds of plants, so that you do not unnecessarily endanger your life while trying to forage. As with other human endeavors, having the right knowledge is very important, which is why this book has been written with someone like you in mind. In any case, this book is not all about gloom. It also has various sections that tell you why you should be foraging if you haven't already considered it or started. There are various compelling reasons why, if you have not yet considered it, you would find foraging an interesting experience. For those who also wonder how foraging came to be, you will find an interesting section that talks about that. You will also be introduced to some of the tools that can make your foraging experience a very interesting one. Having the right foraging equipment can sometimes be the difference between having a pleasant experience or a very nasty one, which is why a lot of effort was put into ensuring that you are shown the most basic skills and sometimes obvious equipment like the knife and other essentials, or sometimes nice-to-have foraging gears. Unlike other books that only show you how to forage, where to forage, when to forage, benefits of foraging, safety precautions to know when foraging, and foraging equipment you may need, this book will also show you the various ways you can store the various items you can successfully forage, so that they can remain fresh or edible for the time you want to consume them. With this foraging guide you can quickly get started and start foraging as soon as possible without harboring any more fear. Chapter 1. Introduction to Foraging for Survival. To understand how survival interplays with foraging, we have to establish what foraging is first. It is, in simple terms, the hunting of wild food for consumption. Meanwhile, survival will be what all of us are hoping to accomplish, staying alive. Therefore, foraging for survival is the hunting of wild plants for consumption as a means of sustenance to stay alive. This is as opposed to going to the supermarket to buy groceries. Even if it took an hour-long ride to get there, or simply a walk around the block, it is still not going to be classified as foraging. Oh, don't forget going to the farmer's market. That's not foraging either. Around us, trees, grasses, forests, and various plants exist. Surely our predecessors have narrowed that down to a few choice of leaves as herbs or salads. But out there we still have many undiscovered edible plants. There are still greens hidden in the wild that are up for the taking. That's what a forager does, discover these undisclosed edible plants. Imagine you're on a hike and lost your compass or can't find your way home. How will you survive?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?